Selena.
It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl, can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl, put them heels on and rule my
Welcome to
world.
Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Spending the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.
Hello. Welcome. It's Monday afternoon. This is an interesting topic to me. A lot of times, men and women are under, I'm gonna say, spiritual attacks, and sometimes it's induced by other people that practice certain spells. I have seen a lot of stories lately where a lot of women are getting into witchcraft, and some people don't even know that they are practicing witchcraft. Um, the simple things like the pheromone perfume. Sometimes those perfumes are used in they're made in rituals to attract love or attract others, to be attracted to them. Many times, a witch is not always a good looking woman. It could be just a regular woman, natural woman with natural hair. It could be a woman with a lace front. It could be an unattractive woman. It could be a beautiful woman, a fat woman, skinny woman. It can be a witch can come in any shape or form. Hey, Earth Day. And men also use witchcraft as well. They are considered warlocks. They use spells as well. While they're having sex, with the woman, especially if they, um, you know, um, come in a woman and sex. And so you have to be very careful of the people that you engage with. Why did I want to do this live stream? Because I feel like a lot of people are being fooled by people because they are being manipulated or influenced by certain things and they're not aware of it. A lot of the times we have to really discern the different people that come into our life. Now, while some people don't believe that witchcraft is not bad, you do need to be aware of some of the things that could backfire on you. Again, there is some people that practice witchcraft and they don't even know it. Hey, Rich, how are you, Richie Rich? They don't even know it, and they don't even know that they're being influenced. Like I said, witchcraft can come in many forms. It can come in many different types of people. Like I said, some attractive people, some not so attractive people. I knew somebody that had a situation where he met someone that was practicing witchcraft, and he was trying not to be attracted to her, but it was something about her allure, and she would use different rituals as she was dealing with him, massaging him and things like that. And he really wasn't trying to be attracted to her. It was just like, it was just something about her. But even though it's like he couldn't shake the attraction, and he didn't understand what it was. And then once he was around the woman, and but he ended up kind of, wising up and kind of, moving on and rejecting her. And she, because she had some type of attachment to him physically, she ended up doing some things to cause things to happen in his life. He had chaos going on in his life. Hey, King Mouse, and it sounds weird, but I'm gonna show you some clips, and you can kind of determine what you think. And I'm just gonna tell you where the rubber meets the road for me. And everybody is not me, so I don't want to be judgmental, but I gotta call the truth on what I see on, for my life. It's just some things I say, you know what? I even have to check myself and say, what kind of things that I dibble and dabble that may cause some type of manipulation or seductiveness about me. By nature, women are supposed to be, most of us are beautiful in our own way, in our own right. And God has given us beauty. And sometimes, because of sin, we can sometimes use it to manipulate. We can masquerade because of our beauty and our bodies and our the way we say things with our voice and how we bat our eyes and the little things we do to show, that, I want you, those kind of things. So you have to be, as men, you have to be cautious and don't always think with that lower head that you have and think with the head that you have on top, because you can be influenced and not even know that you are being influenced. So hey Rilo, hey King Miles, good to see you. Hey Y, hey A Train. You said my ex was practicing witchcraft on me, and I went to confession and broke the spell. Yeah, sometime, or I don't know if you playing with me, A Train, but you do have to go through some type of deliverance, and this is somebody that actually is a real believer, that can break those things on you, break those curses and those strongholds on your life. Now, some people go to spiritualists, but some of the spiritualists, from my understanding, they practice witchcraft. So I don't know how, you know, basically a kingdom cannot be divided and work together. So I don't know how that works, but it may be off, they may can get it off of you for maybe a little bit, but those some of those things you actually have. Hey, Jack, how are you? Oh, I'm okay. Got out the hospital. I'm sorry about that. I hope you feeling better, and thank God you out. Thank God. And I hope you get better, Jack. And so you have to be careful of the people that you intertwine with, because some of that stuff is hard to get off of you. And some men and women, they wonder why, things always going bad. They can't never succeed. They always in a different relationship all the time. Sometimes it could be, thank you so much, A Train. I appreciate you. Sometimes it could be people putting things on you. Um, and you don't even know that they're on you. It could be an old relationship that you had, and the woman say or the man say, "Well, if I can't have you, every relationship that hey, chill, every relationship that you get into, it will not work." They'll say things like that, and so every relationship that a person goes through, um, it won't work, because that person in that old relationship, because they have soul ties, and soul ties are not always sexual. They can be emotional soul ties that you have with someone, mental soul ties that you have with a person. So you could have some strong soul ties to a person, and they can put that curse on you. And you, in every relationship you get into, it starts off good and it ends, it ends. So you have to be careful about the people that you interact with, because you just have no idea. When I look up the definition of sex magic, it's a practice that combines with sexual energy, which is ritualistic or spiritual elements to achieve a desired income outcome. I'm sorry. It is based on belief that sexual arousal can create a heightened state of consciousness and energy that can be channeled by magical purposes. Practitioners of sex magic believe that sexual acts manifest desires, enhance personal powers, connect with spiritual forces, heal emotional wounds, achieve fertility or conception. Okay. Um, Sex magic was really introduced by Aleister Crowley. He is the person that I think he had the book called The Best Techniques of Sex Magic by Aleister Crowley. And basically, the sex magic is any type of sexual activity used magical, ritualistic, or otherwise, religious, or spiritual pursuits. One practice of sex magic is using sexual arousal or orgasm. Okay, so also, a part of sex magic is ejaculation, having an explosive orgasm that can increase energy rather than depleting energy. Okay, so those are some of the definitions of what sex magic is. And like I said, the person that I know of that introduced, you know, America society of sex magic was Aleister Crowley and Madame Blachowicz. I can't pronounce her name; it's a Russian name. But um, if you look it up, sex magic, you will see some of the people that had something to do with introducing it to people, especially in America. Um, and Aleister Crowley, from my understanding, I believe he is from England, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, I think her name is Madame Marie Babakovich. I cannot pronounce it. I'm sorry. Um, but I believe he is from London. But he is the one that kind of introduced this through his book. And some of this sex magic had to do with having sex with little children, virgins, and just people in general, orgies, anal masturbation was also a sex magic technique. And so it's really very strange that a lot of this sexual things are really have a lot to do with how we, as other human beings, we, um, how can I say this? It's like we are accessible to the spirit realm because of sex. And some people think that sex is just sex, you know, having a good time, we're enjoying each other. This is the sex outside of marriage. And you know, and that's if we want to go, you know, from the biblical standpoint. Um, but a lot of the times sex magic is used and we don't even know that we are creating sex magic with another person. Anybody that is not um your husband or your wife, or is, you know, either, you know, are you sleeping with another person that's not your wife or your husband and you're married, which would be adultery, or you fornicating. And that's in the biblical terms, that means that you're not married. So I'm just talking about the biblical terms of, you know, uh, of how sex magic can be used. Also, sex magic can, like I said, can be used in orgies. People that have what is that? The swinger clubs and things like that. They use a lot of sex magic. So there's a lot of different things, and I'm gonna have somebody on here, I believe, hey Miss V, on here Friday, that's gonna kind of go over this with me. That was in the occult, and this person that was in the occult, he knows very well what it is, and how people use it. Hey, the biggie, how are you? Good to see you. So I'm gonna share this with you. Some of this information is very of you guys might not be interested in it. That's okay. But and shout out to A Train for that. I appreciate you. Um, but I did want to make you guys aware of it. And I'm also going to do a part two on this on Friday. I will put the link in the chat. So if anybody would like to come up, you're more than welcome to come up. I'm going to play this video. It's about sex magic and alarming the trend of women doing witchcraft. This is by Karina Lore. Very intelligent young lady from, she's a Haitian descent. And it's Karine Allure Mental Gems. And I'm going to do just a little reaction of this and another film of Tasha K interviewing a witch by the name of Satin. And Satin is a witch as well, and she's going to talk a little bit about, you know, the sex magic and just in general how they use witchcraft in the celebrity realm. So stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Love me. What I'm really interested in is love. Might say I'm addicted to love. You want to take a girl up there now? You want some?
What is it?
Well, I met this great-looking guy, and I used love magic on him. And he got really weird on me. All these emotions started flowing out of him, and he got really sick. What is it, Wayne? What is it, baby? Wayne. Witchcraft is just a way of concentrating energy. It can only work with what's already there. I just use sex magic to create love magic.
So I don't know if some men have ever, if you've ever slept with someone and you've gotten extremely ill. It wasn't a sexual transmitted disease, anything like that, but you got extremely ill. Some people say that's just the power of manipulation. It's not real or whatever. And so, but there is sometimes where some of this stuff, and like I said, some things are really spiritual. I don't know why people don't believe it, but there is some times where you will have slept with a woman or a man and you get extremely, extremely, hey Randy, hey Myron, you get extremely ill and you trying to figure out what's wrong, what's going on with you and stuff like that. You might need to consider what is going on and who is the last person that you slept with. And then the woman, she's going to, of course, act like she don't know what is going on when she know exactly what's going on. And like I said, not only do women do this in sex, men do it as well. There's some men that practice witchcraft as well. They are called warlocks, and they use things too to get women, hooked on. When you see a woman that's obsessed with a man, or they say digmatized, sometimes that is because a man is practicing witchcraft. Not all, but some. So you have to be careful when you see like things in your life kind of falling apart, nothing's working out, you're losing your job, you're losing money, you don't understand why your money is just disappearing. It's like you got holes in your pocket, you're getting ill, you don't know why you getting ill, relationships all around you just falling apart. Sometimes you have been attached to someone that has practiced witchcraft. And like I said, some women are not even aware that they are practicing witchcraft, right? So those are the things that why you have to get to know people before you get so excited and start jumping in the bed and so thrilled because he or she seems like they're just all of that. They're doing everything you've ever wanted. They're giving you every gift you've ever wanted. You're going to have to really stop being so simple minded and really look beyond the surface And for some people, that's extremely hard. Why? Because we see what we see, and we don't want to go any farther than that. We don't want to dig deep into stuff because it will ruin our high of excitement or happiness at the time. But sometimes you have to just take your time with people because you really just don't know. That's why I am so careful about the people I engage with now, on a romantic level or even on a platonic level, because soul ties are more than sexual. They could be friendships, they can be all types of different types of relationships that you could have with people. And it's not just stemmed in, it's not just in sex. So you just have to be very cautious. You can't overthink everything, but at the same time, you gotta think, and you gotta think more than your vagina and your penis, um, because you could be missing out on the reality of things.
Sometimes it's almost scary how strong the love gets.
And sex magic.
Thing for love.
So today's video is a video I really don't like that I even had to make, but unfortunately I have to make. It's sad. We're talking about the growing rise of men and women doing witchcraft on their lovers or to get their lovers. Let's talk about it. But first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Queen
And
of.
so she's going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm going to go on to these other little clips, that I wanted you guys to look at. And this is what some of these women or men are doing. And you think that, oh, you met the man or the woman of your dreams. Well, you better check it out because you just might meet a master manipulator. So, and again, like I said, this is under fair use. Let me say that. Let me go back because I didn't read that little part of being it under fair use. It says fair use copyright under 107. Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. So I just want to make sure that I said that. And now I'm going to go into the video. So look at this spell. Now this spell, this is being shown on TikTok. It's just a regular love spell. And she's going to explain to you what she does, so that this person can't keep you, you can't stop being on this person's mind. This is what some women will do. And you wonder, you look at some women, you be like, how in the world did she get that? And but you don't know, it could not always be witchcraft, but it sometimes could, because you be wondering, looking at certain things, you're like, that don't make no sense, but you don't know what people are doing. So let me play this. Hey Ryan.
You'll
Hey
write the name of the
Angela.
person who is acting lofty and challenging. You'll apply your favorite scent to your soap and scrub the sole of your foot with the soap and perfume. It will fade a bit, but it's okay. Leave it that way for the entire day. You'll be walking around with this written on all day. I guarantee this person will come to you humbled and crawling. I hope you have the chance to carry out this spell and let me know in the comments how it went.
You can 100% do bedroom magic on men, and believe it or not, that is the reason why S workers or ex-S workers like myself are demonized by.
So look at this young lady. She's an African, and thank you so much, Tangela. You and all of you guys make me come on here and do my content regardless. Some days I'm really discouraged. So I really appreciate people like you, everybody in the chat, and Tangela for recognizing what I have to contribute to my platform. So shout out to you. I appreciate you, because some people do not get to catch my lives, and they maybe sometimes have time to catch them on the replay. And I appreciate you so much. That's so encouraging to me that somebody is actually listening to me. So thank you so much. This is a young lady that looks. She's a beautiful African American young lady. She doesn't have black lipstick on. She doesn't have a lot of piercings, tattoos on her face. She's a normal looking, as we would think, African American woman that's attractive. Look how normal she looks, as in I would say in the normal standards of what we consider normal. Um, Look at her. I mean, so you could be running into somebody that's just really innocent looking, really nice looking, sexy, beautiful. You could be fine, got it going on, nice body. She's drinking her self what is that water they be drinking out here? Celery water. I know I've started trying to drink that with my sea moss. Drinking her celery water, going to the gym, working out, all the time, just fine, right? And you have no idea she probably is doing witchcraft. Now, of course, all women that are beautiful, all women that are not so beautiful in men's eyes or women's eyes, that doesn't mean, that people are practicing witchcraft. Okay. So this is what I want people to understand. I'm not saying every woman is practicing witchcraft, but what I am saying, and every man is practicing witchcraft, but what I am saying, it is very, I would say, common in this day and time that people are very curious about spirituality. And a lot of times they get into certain practices and ritual work because it works faster. They're getting benefits from it. Where back in the day, they would still use it as well with the hoodoo, and stuff like that, the black magic. And some people say there's white magic. They say white magic is not as harmful as black magic, but to me, in my opinion, it's all the same. You're using outside, I would say, devices from just prayer or hard work or whatever. But a lot of the times there is some people that look just as average and common as you and me that are doing this stuff, and they're doing it and using it on other people. So don't be so naive to what is going on in the world. See, I'm not the type of person. Hey T Rail, hey D Kick back, how are you? I'm not so naive where I just stay in the church and think that, oh, it's all hallelujah, pray things away. Oh, okay. I'm not that naive. I understand that there's a whole big world out there with things I've never heard of, things that I never was taught in the church. Okay. So there's some things that's going on in the world that is actually going on. And we have to be very vigilant about understanding and knowing what is going on and not be fooled that, oh, it's just, yeah, it's good and evil, but understand what the type of evil that's out there. And really, it's not, it's a lot outside, but it's also some in our religious organizations. I gotta keep it a bean, or tell you where the rubber meets the road. It's also in religious organizations from Buddhists, Muslims, and Christianity. Let's just call a spade, okay? Because a lot of these churches, started from the churches of England, and they used a lot of Freemasonry, okay? And they put a lot of different rituals in there that God probably doesn't, more than likely don't approve of. But we go by it because it's a tradition, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it a bean on that. But I want you guys to, let's not be judgmental. And again, I can be wrong on a lot of things. And if I'm wrong and someone is more well equipped to break things down, then by all means come up and tell me, explain to me what you know. That's why I said Friday, I'm going to have somebody that can really break it down because they were in the occult. So when a person is on the other side and now they've been on the other side and they're on another side, then they can explain to you and go dissect every little thing. I just go by the things that I've read, the things that I have, seen videos on. I knew about Aleister Crowley and the Madame Blavatsky. And again, forgive me if I'm butchering her name. It's a Russian name, okay? Um, I knew about them maybe 14 years ago when I really started looking at, the different, these conspiracy theories and the things of the Illuminati and the 13 families and what kind of rituals Lester Crowley was doing with the sex magic and how he was sexually abusing children, small children, because, they say you can live longer if you have sex with children, that are virgins, that kind of sick stuff that some of the elites in this day and time are maybe still doing because it's so much sex trafficking. Jeffrey Epstein and all of these people that are in the elites would go to a certain island and have these young women that were not even 18, you know. And so these people are still doing it today. Hey, T-Rail. Hey, Taryn. So I want you to listen to this. Uh, Now, she looks so normal, attractive young black woman. And this is the kind of practicing that she's doing. So when you sleep with her, you're going to get hooked. You're going to lose your mind because you don't know what energy or spirit she's operating up under. Okay. So and some people these spirits are not bad, but because I'm coming under what my belief system, I wouldn't be operating up under this. But then again, when I look at some of the things that I do, I have to question, why do I do this certain thing? What is it? What have I been influenced by that I act, or maybe I have on something that may be putting me in a light or putting me into where I'm seductive or people look at me as being sensual and seductive. So those are some things that I even had to question about myself. Do you like celery water? Yeah, I got some from the health food store the other day, so I'm gonna drink it.
Men and demonized under religion. As a woman, you have life force energy because you are able to create a whole life inside of you. So you already have to be able to have you manifest, to be able to have you take things and make it more abundant. Men have been very aware of this, okay? For centuries, men have known this about women. And women are able to alchemize sexual energy that is taken from men to be able to uplift, empower, and also make themselves more financially stable. And this is why it is always shamed. The Bonnie Blue woman that slept with 100 men, she is 100% using the energy of men to make herself more powerful, to make herself have more energy, to make herself be able to gain more money, because she also specifically, just like men, she is using younger men to be able to do this. Youthful energy is untapped energy. Okay, which means that it is a fresh new portal. This is also the reason why men like to go after younger women. I've been a succubus before. Okay, I've been a succubus before, and when you actually are tapped into your power, You can manipulate men and you literally can control men through your essence, through your sexual energy without having to do anything. Men have literally had dreams about me. I've been able to just literally call the universe and say, hey, I want this man to text me or I want this man to do a favor for me. And he will do it. Okay. That is how powerful the energy that you have inside of you. That is how powerful it is. So the energy is most definitely there for you to tap into, for you to be able to take it from men. Okay. And you can do it at a grand scale as compared to men can.
If a person don't want you and you do a spell to make that person come back, did you know every little thing that person don't like gonna come on their mind? Let's say you got a man, right? The only thing make him mad is when you keep going out with your friends or dudes keep hollering at you. Did you know this how the devil works? The devil will send all those different kind of men to talk to you, knowing your man crazy. All of a sudden, your man want to jump on you, put his hands on you, and men put spells on women too, trying to make that woman stay with him because she fine, she got this and that. I don't want nobody to have him. I'm telling you, some of these women go crazy over a man, and then all of a sudden, different women in your inbox, all of a sudden, all these folks trying to talk to you, she think you cheating, and you done broke her heart so many times. That woman gonna do something to you and do something to them women too. Y'all better be careful playing with this stuff now. It's real out here.
Y'all, please be careful out here. Women are playing a dirty game just to keep a man. They are doing love spells. They are doing witchcraft, black magic to keep the man for the woman he truly loves.
So there has been things. I don't. Hey CX, I don't know if you guys remember. I was telling you about someone had put something on my grandmother, and it was a lady that was a daughter-in-law of hers aunt, liked my grandfather. And my grandfather and grandmother, like I said, they raised 16 children. So they, they had a healthy sex life. I can say that. So with that happening, she liked my grandfather. My the daughter-in-law that was married to one of my older uncles was doing her hair. Sorry, doing her hair. My grandmother had very beautiful hair, very nice hair. It was long, and it was silky and wavy. And the daughter-in-law got some of her hair. It was found out that the daughter-in-law got some of her hair, gave it to the aunt. The aunt put it in I think, a jar with a snake in it, and put it somewhere up under my grandparents' home. And this is when my grandparents were younger. My grandmother maybe was in her either late 30s or early 40s, because she shortly after that, I think, she had my 12th uncle, and found out because it was someone that knew about the occult and what was going on, and they went up under the house and found that jar with the hair, my grandmother's hair, and the snake. And I think after that, the aunt, the daughter-in-law, my uncle's first wife, that got the hair, she ended up dying at a young age. They don't even know how she died. She died at a young age. And then I believe the aunt that did the spell, she ended up having a lot of bad things happening to her, and eventually she died. So a lot of that stuff, yes, Taryn, it's called the roots. They say you put them roots on you. And so a lot of the times when you use these love spells, they'll backfire on you. You think you're doing something to somebody else, and it backfires to you. So that's why I don't play with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And if it's something seems fishy, I try to go and look up the origin, or maybe ask someone that knows about that stuff, because I don't touch stuff if I don't know anything about it. Now it was one time, I was going to get some waist beads because they look sexy, they look really cute, and things like that. When you take off your clothes, you'll have the waist bead. Plus, it was to keep you, I guess, to keep some people from overeating. But then when I did a little bit more research on the waist beads, some of these waist beads, because of the different rituals they use, like different colors on different beads, and they supposed to mean this and mean. I'm like, no, that's beyond. Oh, that's over me. So I'm not getting nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll just work out with a waist trainer. I'm just not gonna do that. So those are the things that you will learn. And some things, like, it ain't that big of a deal. It might be that big of a deal. So you make sure you research stuff. But if you into that stuff, then hey, that's on you. But if it is something, if you are trying to walk in a way, or your religious beliefs or your beliefs do not align with that, me personally, I don't touch stuff that like that. And then some things we don't are not aware, we're ignorant of, and we're getting into things because we're ignorant. That's why we have to, you say, my people perish by the lack of knowledge. You have to be vigilant about learning things, and with whatever you're ignorant of, try to learn it, to see, because a lot of the things we get into, we get involved with, is really bad for us. So but anyway, I'm gonna go on to this right here.
Experiences, a lady had put witchcraft on me. I had it on for years. Had it on me for years. She caused chaos in my home. She caused me to lose my baby. But God is about to reveal the truth. Please be careful out here. Be careful who you sleeping with. Be careful who you laying with. Be careful. It's a dangerous word out here. People don't play fair.
So let's talk about.
So say for instance, if you get with somebody, you was with a woman, the sex was good, everything was good, but you was like, I just, something about her, we not getting along. So you break up with her, right? You meet somebody that you really, really like, and you ended up being, hey, this is a one. You end up marrying that woman, and every time that woman get pregnant, she keep losing babies, and you trying to understand why she can't even have a full pregnancy. You never know that person, the last person that you was with, that you knew was crazy, but because the sex was good and she was doing things for you and going all out for you, she's like, if I can't have you, hell, ain't nobody gonna have you. And then when you do marry her, you won't ever be successful. Everything around you will crumble. See, they'll start doing word curses on you, and then you don't understand why every time you turn around, everything is falling apart. So that's why I say, men and women, we got to be careful, because people don't play fair out here. People are evil. Not all, but a lot of people are. And they are into things that maybe you don't know anything about, and you haven't been raised around, or you haven't been introduced to. So you better know when you're dealing with people, and take time with folks to see what kind of stuff they into. Now, I'm not saying people can't hide, because people can hide a lot of stuff. Especially for the first 6 months in a relationship, everything is good. They the best person in the world. You want to be around them all the time. The next 6 months, the real them comes out. And in this day and time, it don't take 6 months. Usually within sometimes within a week or a month, you'll see the real person dealing with folks. So, because it used to be, it took a little longer for the real person to come out. Now it's not like that anymore, So I would say, women and men, stop thinking with your vagina, and men, stop thinking with your peen, because some of the stuff we getting into is because of lust, the lust of the flesh. So this is another person that says that love spells can backfire.
At potential consequences of
Hey,
casting a love
Natron.
spell. Number one, what could happen is that because love spells don't create love, you can't magic your way into love. Love requires a certain level of consciousness. Love requires a certain level of maturity, and it's really more of an action word than a feeling word. So, what instead love magic does is create attachment. So, it's actually closer related to binding spells than it is to any sort of love spells or enlightenment spells. So, okay, so number one option might be that that partner may become so attached that they might find themselves in an obsessive space. And what a horrible thing to do to somebody. But that can happen with that person becoming obsessed about the target. The caster might act out of that because they probably will feel fairly unhappy with that. They may end up taking it on themselves or the caster or other people in their vicinity. Option two is it creates, because the person's will has been infringed by this love spell, you actually might get the opposite reaction. After the initial burst of attachment, you might actually find that that person gets super pissed at you and resentful. And so they may act out of that emotion as well. Option three is it is not unlikely that this has interfered with their path, your path, and other people's paths. Everybody that was involved in that situation. So, any potential children, any potential other people that might have been impacted by these decisions are also going to have karmic consequences of either one of these people not being available or not being available at the right time or something being off. Or so it creates potential consequences and unexpected consequences with everybody else down the line. This is why love spells are so dangerous to mess with. It's hard to get them right. It doesn't create love. And actually, what it creates is a form of attachment that is really not pleasant for anybody down the line.
Some of these women.
So basically, it can backfire on your generation. So it can backfire on your kids. And some people don't understand when they do certain things, and their kids are acting up, or their kids end up in doing things and getting on drugs, or doing something violent to somebody else, or just wreaking havoc. And you wonder why things are happening, why your kids are just out of control. A lot of things can go back generations, and so it could go back to your descendants, your children, children's children, if not your children. So those are the things you have to watch when you go into these things. The devil never plays fair. Okay, he never plays fair. So you don't think that it's just, I'm just going to do this and it's not going to be a big deal. That's why I don't get into stuff like that. Because, when I was younger, when them little witch, like Sabrina the Witch, I used to watch. And it was another movie that came out years ago, but the remake came out I think it was last year, called The Craft. And it was about these four girls that, were witches and stuff like that. And at that time, when I was a teenager and stuff, and a kid and stuff, I thought that was cool. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was cool. And then once I got older and found out, just, talking to, older people and learning about my grandmother's story and stuff like that, I was just like, oh my God, this ain't, hey, Mike, hey, Easy did it. I hope I spoke to everybody. I'm like, this ain't no play. This the real deal, Holyfield. So, and again, like I have like ancestry, in the Louisiana, Arkansas, and all, those areas and stuff like that, Alabama. So those are some things that, when they talk about roots and stuff like that, like whether you think it's real or not, for some people, it's destroying some people's lives. So, I mean, you can think what you want to, but the spirit world is very real, just like the natural. So, I believe in science too, but at the end of the day, I also know that there's things that we cannot see and understand. So, Wicca, yeah, Wicca is more, I'm gonna say European. I think that came from, Ireland, with the Celtics and all of that, with was it fire, earth, water, what the four elements. more, I would say Caucasians probably do Wicca. Um, Now, most some of the African Americans are in the African spiritualism, the hoodoo, some of that, so it's a tad bit different, even though it's still witchcraft, but because of us, people kind of putting us with African Americans with the Africans, they say, we are, associated with the African gods, which I'm not going to name all of them because I only know a few that they practice. But like the Beyonce, she talks a lot in the Lemonade. The the Lemonade was based under the god, starts with the O. I'm not going to say the name, but um, it's the water goddess, and you hear a lot of the Africans talking about the mermaids and stuff like that. It's very strange. Um, so yeah, that's, and I'm gonna share a small video of that with the lady Sadden. She's gonna be talking about um, I'm I know she's going to be talking about sex magic. She's also going to be talking about Beyonce, that Beyonce associates with that power, and that power is on a femininity as well as sexuality, as money. That's what that particular goddess stands, she's more for. And so, and also beauty, you know. So a lot of these women, like I said, are not always into the beauty. They're more some of these are natural, they vegetarians, and everything is veggies and all that kind of stuff. Some of them people, they be into that too. So don't let them fool you just because they ain't got a lace front on and some flappy dappies. That don't mean they not they not a witch. So let's just keep it 100. Hey, Just B, how are you? Yeah. Hey, CX Divine, how are you? Mike, good to see you. I think I spoke to Kuda. Uh, who else came in? SVK. Hey, how are you? And I think that was it. So yeah, don't let it fool you. Just cause I like my flappy dabbies and my lace fronts, baby, I ain't nobody's witch. But then the one you thinking all Mother Earth, that's the very one putting a spell on your ass with her cookie. So you better watch it.
So obsessed with a man. They want to put witchcraft on him. They do a love spell. They want him obsessed with them, right? But once you put that love spell on that man, and now he obsessed with you. About some of these women getting unalive. I hate to say it, somebody's gonna get mad. Some of that be because they don't put voodoo on that man. And now he is really obsessed with them. She tired on, she ready for a relationship to be over with now for whatever reason. And now he can't take it. Cause he gone crazy literally by her. Cause she did it.
I didn't get to record this part.
So okay, so you see that? You see what she said? Do y'all remember the couple that died earlier that this summer? And they were from, was it Georgia? The and it was around YouTube. I even did the story on it. The couple that the man, he had just got out of prison, came, and they got married, had a baby, and it was said that both of them were, she introduced him to some of the love spells, the black magic and stuff like that. And both of them were actually doing it on each other. And at the end, they were on Facebook, and they, in their last argument, he went, and I believed the knife that he was using to cook with, he stabbed her multiple times, and then he went and left the house, and then he unalived himself. I don't know if you guys remember that, but they had some type of podcast on Facebook, and I did a live stream on it. They were from Georgia. Well, they were both using, if we go down some of their stories and listening, they were both doing witchcraft. They were both doing spells on each other. She did a spell on him. He was doing spells on her, because he even said it in that Facebook live stream that she was doing spells on him, and her family was into that. But anyway, long story short, things like that, when people are using love spells on each other, it can make a man obsessed with you. But it also, with the obsession, it comes violence. It comes to a point to where nobody, if he can't have you, nobody can. And if you notice, in when they were going back and forth, uh they had, it's like, to me, it's like they hated each other, but they was with each other. What was keeping them bind together? Not besides having kids together. People have kids together every day and they not together. But it was just like they had such a toxic relationship, and it's like you could feel it. She was doing her thing, he was doing her thing. They were just both just out of this world crazy. But it was something that was keeping them together. What was keeping them together? Was it the spells that they were putting on each other that was keeping them binded? And like I said, he had an obsession with her. She had an obsession with him. But at one point, she got tired of him because she started sleeping with somebody else. And then, so he couldn't trust her after that. But he was doing his own thing over here. And so here you go, an ongoing toxic cycle of people, and they're using these love spells, and it ended up backfiring on the both of them. The very person that she put a love spell on was the very person that took her life. So that's why the woman was saying, not all of the time this is happening, because some men are just crazy. So, and some women are just crazy. But sometimes when people be into dibbling, dabbling in that stuff, in the love spells, it can backfire. It can have a person to become so obsessed with you, they start to hate you, right? And so this is what's going on. And that's why you see a lot of times some of these women becoming unalive. Not all the time. I'm going to say that again. This is not all the time. It is some of the time. It is especially in the situation that happened in Georgia with these two people that were both doing love spells on each other. She introduced him to the love spells because he said that her family was into it and she was doing it. And that's how he learned to do them. So you got to be careful about this stuff. This stuff is not some fairy tale or a unicorn or something like that. This is some real stuff. So whether you see it or believe it or not, it's actually stuff like this that's going on that's affecting people. So I'm not touching it. And that's why I take my time getting to know people and see what they're about. Again, you can always be fooled. Rarely are people who they seem to be, and especially in this day and time. But at least take your time with opening your legs up to folks, because you just don't know what you're inviting. That's all I'm saying. This is another spell, said to make your crush think about you and seek you out. Okay.
Upon doing more research while editing this, because if I just show you guys me talking about this, you guys might not understand the severity of what I'm saying.
Go back. I ain't gonna read it, because if I read it, then I'm putting it on myself. So I'm not gonna read that. But oh gosh, why won't go back? Let me go back to the coffee. Okay. So
you guys might not.
If you can see it right here, because I'm not gonna read it, but it says pour the coffee while saying. And this is what you're going to be saying while you pour the coffee in, but you're going to put the person's name inside the glass. Okay. Now it may sound silly to some of y'all, but for some people, this stuff is working, because again, these people are making spiritual contracts with things that are unseen. Okay. So let's stop looking at things as everything being natural. Everything is not natural. It's a lot of spiritual things that you cannot see. Okay, so let's just be clear about that. Hey, Ryan.
understand the severity of what I'm saying.
They
And it
cry.
might
They
just seem
cry.
like Kareen is just, ranting and raving as usual, yelling at the screen for you guys to wake up.
What's going on? They put a candle inside of a bowl, right? They put some sugar inside there, okay, and then they're gonna put some water. They're gonna put some other things in there.
Severity on screen. I'm showing you guys some of the rituals that they do, some of the practices that they do to keep
Oh,
a man and stuff like
sorry,
that.
that was salt. It's not sugar. Yeah, they do use salt because my grandmother would always say that you should put salt around your house to protect you from your enemies. That is something superstitious. That is, I would say, rooted in some type of ritual or hoodoo practice. To be honest with you, and she was ignorant of it, but that is, and also people use red brick dust as well, especially in Louisiana. They put it around their house or put it at a door so your enemies can't cross over that. And if they can cross over that red dust, then that means they're not your enemy. That's what it's said to be. So
I want to add that there's things like Aphrodite oil. If you haven't seen my Decoding Babylon, Ancient Babylon video, we talk about all the different Babylonian gods. This is why I even went through that and how they are worshipped today. This will make sense because whenever you talk about love spells and, sex magic, etc., that comes from Aphrodite, aka Ishtar, aka Astarte, Ashira, all of those because they're known
and
to.
that's where the word, Easter comes from, the Astar. So that's Mesopotamian. That's way, way back in the day. I would say Adam and Eve era. But it was in Mesopotamia. That's where the Astar comes from. And so the Astar is seen to be that the goddess of love. That also, Astar is Aphrodite. Aphrodite is a Greek goddess, love, beauty, fertility, those type of things. So that's what they use when they're using some of these love spells.
Be the cult of, intimacy. So there's deep pagan roots in there. And I know not everybody's Christian. To a lot of people, believe it or not, Christians, I want y'all to wake up for a minute. A lot of these people really don't see nothing wrong with what they're doing. Look at some of these comments under these ritual videos. And you have to expose this kind of stuff, but they're literally boldly, not even trying to hide themselves on a public platform, talk about the spells that they're doing to ruin people's lives. Like they want nothing but bad things for them. And these are people that are in your life all the time. Unfortunately, a lot of people that have women friends that look very innocent. They would look nothing like witches don't have a look. I know on TikTok you'll find some witches that look the whole earthy, crystals, double piercing nose rings. I tell you, a lot of people get it like it's a fashion aesthetic. I'll do a video on the whole nose ring thing because a lot of people, it's a cultural fashion aesthetic. They don't want to say that. Even when pastors and ministers are preaching with that, there's a symbolism to it with certain people that know that are powerful.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out too because I have a nose ring, but I have one, with the little diamond, and I know that it was some rituals where that is used to like a sign of bondage or being a slave of someone. So I'm gonna do some research on that. I might have to take my nose ring out, but yeah, there's, like I said, this stuff is it's interesting. You have to be careful. And yeah, CX. I'm looking up Pasquale Beverly Rudolph. Okay, and he's earliest known practical teaching of sex magic in the Western world from the 19th century, American occultist from 1825 to 1875, son of a wealthy Virginia father and a slave mother. Okay, So he was probably mulatto. He was well known spiritualist who was greatly influenced by the work of an English and scholar of Hardgrave Jennings. Okay. Rudolph developed one of the most influential studies of sex magic as pure him. The moment when one reaches orgasm is the most intense, most powerful experience a human can have in life. For in the moment, the soul suddenly opens. Okay, just by orgasm, y'all. Let me read this again. This is pretty interesting. At the moment when one reaches orgasm is the most intense, the most powerful experience a human can have in life. For in that moment, the soul suddenly opens to the divine realm, and the breath of God is infused. He said, true sex power is God's power. As such, a power of an orgasm can use by a man, woman for various gain, both worldly and spiritual. Wow. Now, this is from someone that was living in 1825. Okay. And he talks about the orgasm, how that just opens your soul. Okay. So y'all better be careful who y'all be having orgasms with, honey. You be hooked and can't get away from them.
There's a lot of things people do out of ignorance they don't know. And God winks at the time of ignorance when we don't know. But to tell you to keep you in a lie. Is if you, especially if you're a Christian, it is not an aesthetic that I think you should have, especially if you're a minister as well. And there's a lot of prophets and ministers that have that. If you're a prophet, God would have revealed to you the symbolism of that. That's easy out there for anyone to see. But nonetheless, I digress. Not everybody just walks around, showing that. So you don't know. They might come.
Look at, and leave it in your underwear for 7 days. So I guess you're going to put the name on the piece of paper and put it in your underwear. How disgusting. And this is where all of your vaginal, discharge and secretion and all of that, comes out on that piece of paper because you're going to leave it in your underwear for 7 days. This is a part of the love spells that some people do to get those people to love them or to be attracted to them. Listen, Linda. I'm not doing none of that. If you don't like me and you like somebody else, tell your ass. I ain't doing it. Like, that's weird. That's weird to me. But that's just my opinion. So I'm not trying to be offensive to nobody, but at the end of the day, I ain't doing it.
Looking like me, polished, smile with a smile. They might come natural hair, no makeup at all.
You hear that? Natural hair, no makeup. Don't be fooled just because some of these women, look, like I said, look like Mother Earth. You know, you so worried about somebody being natural, and that's the very one that's using her menstrual blood and putting it in something she done made you for dinner. And you thinking, oh, she the best thing since sliced bread. Uh-huh. Until you find out this heifer crazy. So I'm telling you, like they say right here, one lady in the comments said menstrual blood is very powerful. Okay. You said the other comment, don't bring him. I curse him on it, and I make sure I say bad things only. See, these are what some of these women are saying, but it's not just women. Like I said, it's some men that practice this stuff too. And that's why they are so obsessive because they are practicing witchcraft and they're trying to attract and they're trying to keep somebody bind to them. Okay, so when you see a man that's very obsessive and want a woman to be bind to them, that person is more than likely operating under some form of witchcraft. Exactly. That's what exactly I'm doing right now. He go feel it. She can't even write a sentence. And then I think she meant he gonna feel it. So these are women talking in the comment section about what they're gonna do to the man that wronged them. He will never ever have peace or stay with another woman. That's what another woman said. These are all women that are in the comment section, okay? But I'm just pointing it out. But like I said, men do the same. Some men do the same thing. Hey, DL. So this is what some of these women are putting in here. Okay, let me keep going.
With the veil on their heads and they're a witch, you know? So, and then the one full of makeup has the purest heart. So you have to really like have discernment with the Lord because there's a lot of witches, especially in Haiti. They believe in simplicity and purity. They're vegans. They don't harm animals. They're into nature. They just, you would think they're, very kind people and they want to kill your kids. And I'm not being dramatic. There's a lot I've experienced. Obviously, I've shared a lot of the stories here with you guys. People, unfortunately, that have been lost into that world, whether family members, friends, neighbors. I grew up around church members, people that die, from practicing that. They'd be in the church and they're one foot in, one foot out. And this was in the Bible since the olden days, that they were always mixing that stuff. A lot of these and models you guys are following, y'all attracted to. I'm not trying to judge anybody or call anybody out, but the truth must be said so people can be delivered. A lot of it, for you to do a work like that, there's a spirit that's in you because to expose yourself physically, that's not from God. God actually covers, because notice he made the coat of skins for Adam and Eve, right? He covers his children. He covers them. And even Noah, one of his sons got the worst curse, right? Because he tried to expose his father. And to be exposed, to be naked was shame, was shame. And even in Isaiah, I believe Isaiah 48 or 47, don't quote me, I'll find it, but it was a sign of servitude for a young lady to even expose herself, like to show too much skin. It was a sign of servitude. You are in service to someone when you're naked. This is why Hollywood, all of these stars, all of these rappers, the Cardi B's, the Meg the Stallions, the Lottos, all of them, they sell this stuff. They push it. They're already in servitude to something and they're normalizing it to you, glamorizing it to you, because the goddess that they serve, the deities that they serve, and we already talked about, I don't know if I did in my witchcraft video, which I'll pin in the comments for you guys and in the end screen, the contacts. You see Cardi B every time she's coming out with a new album or a new song, she'll wear some contacts, different colors. And now they have.
Okay, it says a self-described witch who recently joined the OnlyFans to provide that sexual transmitted affections can be spellbinding. Sexy says she hasn't yet told her family. Okay. It says, was it Trika Wise is a founder of Safe Slut, a platform that supports people with STDs. Oh my God.
A theme. You have Megan Thee Stallion with the serpent theme and Cardi B. That's a whole nother thing for my video on the music industry, which is coming up. I'm just going
Okay,
all
let
over
me
the place.
read this. I am a witch. I cast a money making spells under a full moon. Do you understand why people are so fascinated with the full moon? The full moon is a great significance, especially when it comes to casting spells and different things happening in the spiritual and physical world. So that's why sometimes people always look forward to a almanac. Yeah, that's what it was. Almanac is what my grandmother used to have back in the day that would tell you when the full moon was going to be, like what day, what time that it might appear. So, and most farmers, it was a farmer almanac. And sometimes they felt like it had to do with the plants and the vegetables, when you should garden, when you shouldn't garden certain things. And so, but the moon has a great significance, especially in the occulted world as well. So a lot of people do spells when it's the full moon. And that's why she says making spells under a full moon. Now I'm making 100K as a model. My spiritual guides protect me. And so this is her. She's showing I don't know how she making that much money because she look like a little stick. I shoot. If I was really about that life, honey, I'll be out here making. Ooh, Lord, I could probably be making so much money, but I'm sometimes doing it the right way or doing it the way that of hard work and stuff. Sometimes it'll pay off in the end, but sometimes it's like, damn. But I look at some of these women, I'm like, who paying them? But anyway, so she's supposedly some type of model, and she says she started from waitressing at a strip club and built her career from there. So I'm assuming she's on OnlyFans.
But it's all interconnected. But what is being sold in there is that Aphrodite, that Astarte, that Ishtar, that 'cause they're all the same thing, that Isis, the love spell, the love casting in it. We're talking about your WAP, what it will do to a man. It will make a man lose himself, or it'll make him buy you things, all of that. That is sex magic. Controlling someone with sex is sex magic. Getting flued out, funds, all of those things, having a man spoil you to this degree. I'm not saying like in a loving relationship where God chooses a partner for you, a person can't spoil you. Come on, let's be for real. Of course, that happens. But these women go out intending, that's what they're leading with, is their body, not love. Not love. And we see in the movie Love Witch, which I showed you guys the intro in the beginning, all she wanted was love, but she was using her body to get that, and it always ended bad. Like, guys, I don't know how much clearer to say that. You see a couple, there's constantly illness. The person lose their mind. Things are going wrong, and you're wondering what's going on. Sometimes it's either someone putting a love spell on one of y'all. You either got a love spell, like you see someone you're with, you can't leave them alone. Some women, you see, they just can't leave the man alone. They start slashing tires. A lot of people say it's mental illness. A lot of things in the West is labeled as mental illness when it's spirits. It's not mental illness. And if you go to the Caribbeans, or you go to, the African diaspora, or you go to Cuba, whatever, Dominican Republic, where these things is common knowledge, they'll tell you that ain't mental health. That lady went and tried to do something on somebody, it backfired on her. A lot of people we see die. Look at the couple on TikTok, that Black couple that was arguing. He ended up taking her life and then taking his life right after. And they both was on live before they did it, doing witchcraft on each other, going to
So it was supposedly the lady that went to, I think she was from Atlanta too. She was from Georgia too, and she went to. She was from Georgia or Florida. She went to Haiti, and it was to do a religious voodoo practice. I don't know if she was trying to do something to someone else, or I don't know what she was going down there for. But she went down there because her son. She told her son she was going down there, and she never returned. She ended up, you know, being unalived. I don't know how. Whatever ritual she was doing. Um, Allegedly, I think the ritual had something to do with her death. So um, you just have to be. Hey, 309, how are you? You said Notre Dame predicted that women will turn their back to the word. Well, it is what it is. That's why the feminist movement out here that was started by um, Caucasian women, you know, and then they introduced to the black women. Of course, the black women jumped on it. Then everybody else jumped in it. You know, the feminist movement is really to destroy families, and people don't really realize it. Um, it was to destroy a lot of families. It was to also make women not want to bear children. You know, not wanting to be married. It really was to break down um, the family unit to me. And a lot of times you will find out that some of these women that are in the feminist movement do practice a lot of witchcraft. And it doesn't matter white, black, Hispanic. It's around the board. So You just got to be careful, even those that look innocent, like me. I don't look innocent, but I look like a normal woman. Now, I don't touch this stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't get into this stuff because I understand the repercussions that come behind using the devil tactics. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't think it's a good thing, and that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody else that chooses to do it, but for me, um, and I even try to question even if things that I do that are traditional. Why do I do those things? Am I playing into a ritual? So I even question myself on certain things and try to do some research on even some of my beliefs and what the church teaches you. So, I just think that a lot of the things that's going on, don't be fooled by the devil's devices. Hey Ben, how are you? You said, so what you saying? You thought about it. Like I said, when I was growing up, I used to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That was when I was like early teens, 15, 14. And then there was a movie that came out, called The Craft. They made witchcraft seem like it was cool at the time. You know what I'm saying? They made it seem like, oh, it's magical because again, it's like living like a child again. Having all this magical stuff going on, and you think it's cool. But then there was something inside of me because I was brought up in the church. There were certain things that I was like, it might not be a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? And then once I started learning things on my own and getting outside of the church, I understood that some things I might not want to touch if I don't understand it, if I feel like it's against maybe some of my core beliefs, then I'm not gonna touch it. You know what I'm saying? But when I was younger, I didn't think anything of it. I never practiced it. That I knowingly, I'll say that knowingly, I've never practiced it. And I pray that subconsciously, that if I am doing something or doing some ritual practices that I'm not aware of, that it will be brought to my attention. But back then, like I said, when I was growing up, I just thought that, oh, it wasn't a big deal. It's not bad. But I never got into it. I'm just looking at Sabrina the Teenage Witch and The Craft, and I just thought it was cool. But it ain't. In my opinion, from it's not. So, and like R&B was saying, and even though Exodus is of the Old Testament, it still speaks of being against witchcraft. Even in the New Testament, I suffer not a witch to live. So, and that was in the Old Testament, in the biblical times. So that also in the Bible still applies to in the New Testament. But again, I don't get into stuff that is beyond or over my head. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. I'm not going to manipulate someone to feel ways about me by using the different devices or different techniques. If I can't do it by my personality, or do it, because of the person that I am, then that person is not meant for me. I mean, I'm not going to do anything to manipulate it, and a lot of times, witchcraft is manipulation. It's manipulation. You says, Selena, means that you got the message. Good deal, great decision. Oh yeah, I mean, something in my spirit say you don't know enough about that, don't you touch it. So, and then like I was saying, hearing some of the stories my grandmother would tell me, back when she was coming up, and how at the time, a lot of people, they were either in the church, but even though they were in the church, they were still doing hoodoo as well. They were still doing, as they would say, roots, and putting roots on people, even though they in the church. So it was just crazy. What some of these people are out here doing, it's just like, they're in the church, but they're using the devil devices. So it was kind of weird. But that's what people do. And women out here are getting more and more into witchcraft because they feel empowerment. And that's one thing that the feminist movement pushes women to feel empowered. There's nothing wrong with feeling empowered, but I would say consider the source. It's good to feel great about yourself and confident about yourself, but when it becomes like, you're your own God, and you're going to manipulate and make people do what you want to do because you're so powerful and strong, like a goddess that you are. Like, to me, that's just like, it's crazy to me. But that's just my opinion. Let me keep going.
Mediums. And it ended like that. A lot of women are indeed in the grave because of this. A lot of people want to play with that stuff. A lot of people die because of this. A lot of women are not paying attention. Be careful. They have oils. You see a fine woman, you don't want to pray or have discernment first. You see a woman, she don't even look all that, but you just sexually lusting after her, attracted to her. She has an Aphrodite oil on her. Now they try to glamorize those oils and call them pheromones.
2024 is the year for the girls. The girls are girling again. 2014 is back. We're getting our frappuccinos. We are going to wear our yoga pants, and we are going to be wearing Love Spell and Pure Seduction from Victoria's Secret. We are bringing back Victoria's Secret fragrances, you guys. I have not smelled this since I was like 10, but I'm obsessed. I am. I'm sorry. I've always said I don't like smelling like a teenage girl, but for some reason, the chokehold that Victoria's Secret fragrances have on me, it should be illegal. It should be illegal. I mean, I seriously had everything. I had the Victoria's Secret pink, warm and cozy, fresh and clean. I mean, I had them all. Bombshell, tease, very sexy, all the above. And I remember specifically this one, my mom was like, I'm not buying that for you. You can't wear something called Seduction. And I was like, Mom, please, it is just a fragrance. But now I'm 26 and I can buy it. So absolutely love this. She ended up letting me get it. I used to alternate these two every other day at school, all through middle school.
Okay, now I don't know if that has any significance with like any spell work, Bath and Body Works, but some of the things that people name some of these products, it do create suspicion. Like, why? Because I got Love Spell back when I was in my early 20s, and I wasn't getting it for a spell. I was just getting it because it smelled good at the time. And Seduction, why are these companies pushing these particular names for products? Yes, it's to sell, because let's be honest, drama and sex sells. Okay, let's just keep it 100. So that could be some of it. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean it's rooted in um, any type of witchcraft, but I'm not sure what she got to say. Why does she correlated that with that? But anyway, I'm gonna move on from that. Let me see. Now it says this is another spell. It says add some honey, both. It's even better.
Because God speaks to you even in the midst of it. You can't get out of witchcraft. There's things people, yes, pray for you. God gives you a way out. You'll know. Some of y'all willingly choose to be in bondage and slavery. The lust, God will speak to your heart. Y'all need to share these videos with your brothers. You need to share these videos with your fathers, your uncles, your husbands, your wives. These videos, your daughters. Because there's people literally doing.
Aphrodite oil. When you see some of these women be in this pheromone, I can think it's called pheromone, like oils and stuff, is to attract the opposite sex. Basically, sometimes they are called Aphrodite oils. Is to apply on your neck to attract love in general, whether it's love from others or from oneself. So they be using these oils to, but they use different types of herbs and different types of like recipes to make these oils up. And the power of, they call, I think it's the power of suggestion or something, or whatever you are feeling, and what the attention of the ritual, whatever the attention of the ritual is, and you trying to attract it, and you put that stuff on your body, sometimes you can attract it, if I'm explaining it correctly.
Men do this too. Men do this too, which is insane. They do it.
That's
And
another
some men
love
are so deep
spell.
in it, they don't understand. You know you don't love
Is to make him think about you all day. You see how weird the stuff is? I don't want to ever manipulate any man so that I have to go this far to get his attention. And also that, like I said, they have spells to get back at your butt too. So when you see everything crumbling around you, don't be surprised. You done got connected with a witch, and she putting something on that butt. So you're gonna learn one way or the other to just go by somebody that got a pretty face and a big butt. You're gonna have to really get to know people and see what their spiritual background is. The type of things that they do in their spare time. Again, it goes by spending time with people, because you'll never know people just by what they say. It's a lot of people say a lot of things and they're not who they say they are. So you really have to take time to get to know people and not be so quick to jump into bed with people. But again, people are still going to do the exact same thing and get the same results. That's on you.
the woman, but you can't leave. You feel stuck. Everything in your life goes wrong. When women do love, this is how it backfire when you do love spells. He start hitting on you. A lot of these women, I'm not saying for all, a lot of women, you in a relationship, he beating on you. You know what you did. He's sleeping with your kids. He's drunk. He can't keep a job. He becomes obsessed with you. He won't let you leave him. He starts to threaten you. It backfired. And for a lot of them, they would do the love spell to try to keep the woman, but it turns on him. He becomes obsessed. He can't keep a job. He gets so obsessed, he becomes violent. Starts hitting her until eventually, if she has either takes her life, end up ruining his, or if she finds the Lord or some common sense, there's an olive branch poured out to her. She frees herself and get her life together.
So she got a piece of paper. You put your name and his name. And then you fold it 3 times towards you. Let's see what else.
He ends up losing the woman.
You put saliva or menstrual to seal the spell. Now, this is a black person because I'm looking at the hands. This is a spell. So you're putting both of your names, and both of your names on that piece of paper, and then they put some saliva, or they can put menstrual blood, and they can seal it. Hey, Ron, people weird, and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend people, but I'm. It's very strange. Okay.
Up in that spiraling state of psychosis. That happens. Women do that too.
And this is leaving your underwear for 7 days. With the underwear, leave your underwear for 7 days. So I'm gonna do a part 2. This is the other one that I wanted to show you about the what's her name? Oh, here, let me stop sharing this. Let me go to the celebrity witch. Yeah, yuck. So this is the celebrity witch named Satin. Satin, I did this on last year, I believe 2024. It could have been 2023. It was on Halloween. And I did a live stream on her because this is her second, I believe, live that she did with Tasha K. And this is under use for educational purposes. She talks to Tasha K and tells her about what revealed to her sex magic, spirit mounting, church witches, like I was telling you earlier about, is some witches in the church that practice Christianity, but as well they also practice the occult. So that's why you shouldn't allow everybody to lay hands on you when they pray, because you don't know what they're imparting on you. So you have to be cautious about that. Everybody that is in the church, of course, we know are not of God, and sometimes they are the biggest devils. So she's going to be talking about that. I'm not going to play a whole interview. I'm just going to play the part that I wanted you guys to hear. But she is a practicing witch. Actually, she is a generational witch. Her great grandmother was a witch. Her grandmother was a witch. Her mother was a witch, and now they passed it on to her. So some people are witches by generations, generational, thing. It's a generational thing that they become a witch. And then some people are just drawn to the occultic and they're drawn to being a witch. So she's going to talk a little bit about, I think I got it at the part where she talks about the Sag. But I want you guys to listen to this. You said 2025, it's nuts today, dating world. I would rather work slowly, getting back into the gym and make sure my business is running and stay on top of things. Right. It's good. It's okay to date. It's not an easy task, but it definitely, I would say for anyone, including myself, is to take your time. Never get so excited with people just because they're doing all these great things, because they might be the very thing or the very person that will cause more harm to your life than you expected. So you have to take your time with people and just kind of wait things out. But we're gonna hear a little bit of what she has to say.
And it works.
Let's talk about sex energy, because I've had those discussions on my channel before.
Oh, okay.
And to admit it, the power of all the energy.
Yes.
And they put it in music, they put it in movies, they put it everywhere. And before it was even, I would say, schools are teaching about sex.
Yeah, and the gay stuff.
5, exactly. 5 and 6. And I've had arguments with the LGBTQ because they say, well, why can't we teach about it? We need a safe space. I said, okay, I agree with anybody being with who they want to be with.
100%.
What does it have to do with your character? Development? What does it have to do with the service that you are supposed to provide to humanity here? And if you're engulfed in sex energy, and we'll argue with people like this all the time, how are people supposed to see through your sexuality and see you?
Yeah. It's just all sex.
It's all sex. It's all what you are, what you claim. And it's like, but as heterosexual people, yes, it's naturally put out there, and it shouldn't be. It's perverted. When I was a kid, I had to close my eyes when I saw people kissing or making out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
To preserve me being exposed too early to something that is very addictive.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily addictive. It's natural. We all want sex. It's just, I don't think it should be introduced as a subject at all to kids. Kids are not worried about that. They don't need to know about that.
Yeah.
Now, when the hormones start to come in and puberty hits, they're thinking about it.
Yes.
Because it's a natural biological thing.
Right.
Then you get to talk to them about it. But kids younger than that, there's no need for it. But sex energy as a whole, though, is very powerful. And I'm glad that you noted that, right? Because everyone you come in contact with. And that's why I don't like how, like, the music, like the pop this pussy, all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sukiyana.
Does she really eat ass? Is she saying this as her marketing?
Yes.
She was eating ass on her OnlyFans.
Throwing up on dicks.
Oh,
pissing.
I don't like that they're putting that out, because these young girls that are growing up in this social media era, that's all they're seeing.
And that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, have some type of, sex. For most, I would think it should be sacred. But hey, who am I? I live in 2025 where people just do, and and think about stuff later. But I just think that's really sick that this young lady and is doing this on OnlyFans, and she's she's like taking a lot of different energies, a lot of different spirits, doing those type of things when she's interacting with all these different needs, and she has children of her own. You know why so many people uh are kind of crazy, or they got a lot of different like personality lot of different personalities. They call it a personality disorder, or they're detached. They kind of have a disassociative kind of personality where they detach emotionally from people sometimes, and they just seem they just seem everywhere. I don't know how to articulate it, but they're just like they're all over the place. You know, they're with this person, they're with that person. They are getting energies from everyone that they're with. And that's why I said, just like women get soul ties, men get soul ties. It's not just a woman thing, it's a human thing, right? So when we interact and we give our energies to all these different people, and we take on some of their personality, we take on whatever demons they have. And so when children are introduced to sex at such an early age, and then they become engaged in this stuff, these children, they're really not only losing their innocence, they're really going to be attaching themselves to maybe some things and people that will affect their future. You know, because a lot of the times some of these people, while they are so crazy, or they're just such just a little, they just, as my grandmother say, just hoish. You know, they just out here doing whatever with whomever. They have no regard as long as they can get a nut, or they can, or they can get that orgasm or whatever, get that feeling. It's like a high to them, but it's like they are addicted to it. And that's why it's not good for children to be so early introduced to that kind of thing, because you're getting attached to different spirits and different negative entities onto your life. Most people don't believe it because, again, they don't believe in believe everything is science and logic and all of that. So of course there's nothing deeper than that. But hey, you wonder why some people are the way they are, and why they can't, ship, or they struggle with intimacy with people, or they can't stay faithful and all of that kind of stuff. Then you'll kind of understand when you talk to them what they got going on. You'll understand. So again, I'm not trying to be judgmental of people. Like I said, I got my own issues or whatever, but let me keep going, because I'm trying to be really. This is a sensitive topic. I people at the end of the day, I have to tell my truth on how I see the situation and what I observed being my well, this is what I've analyzed it to be. I'll just say that.
And they're thinking that that is the baseline of how women should be. Like, they're not learning about womanhood and being minded, pushed. Everything is like, fuck that nigga, get some money. What? And these little 15, 16-year-old girls are thinking that's the way of life. Yeah. Instead of getting your own money, sis, do hair, do nails, do whatever you need to do. But don't be giving your vagina up. And I'm not saying that whole like thing. Like, I don't believe in that either.
No, but there's I feel that they use sex too much, and that's kind of how the Shannon Sharp victim got caught up. OnlyFans.
Oh, she was selling sex on her OnlyFans?
Well, she was doing OnlyFans to pay bills.
Okay.
And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's everywhere.
It is. It is. And that is why the world is the way it is, because sex energy is so profound. I mean, I use it to manifest. Like, I have yoni washes, a lot of the girls use to, get, what they want. But that's okay in that regard, because, we're women, we deserve to have euphoric feelings too.
Yeah.
However, and utilize that to manifest for us. When you start utilizing for like demonic, you start using it to control people, manipulate people, that's a problem. That is a problem. And that's what these people like Shannon Sharp sounds like he was doing. He's utilizing sex energy. I bet you any money that girl is depressed. He's drained, but just from the sex on top of what he did too.
You see what I'm saying? Sometimes when people have all these sexual partners with people, it brings a lot of depression on people. You wonder why some people can't sleep, why some people are so depressed, but they hide it, because to you, they look like they have it going on. They can be with a different type of man every week, a different woman every month. And you thinking, oh, okay, well, they seem happy. They seem like they on top of the world. And some of these people are the most depressive people, because again, you're getting energies and different spirits from different people. All these different people you done slept with. And that's why a lot of these porn stars, they get so depressed and they want to unalive themselves. It was just a lady 3 weeks ago. I believe I don't know her name. She unalived herself, a Caucasian young lady. It could, but the highest in suicides are really that statistically have been porn stars. And who else it was? The young lady that slept with, I think it was either 100 men or 1,000. I forgot. I think it was 100 men she slept with, and she was getting power from it supposedly. But when she was interviewing about it, she busted out crying. Do you get at the time when they're having sex with a person, they feel empowered? But after it's all said and done and their sex is over with and they got to wake up and live with their real reality, they are the most depressed people ever. So don't let people fool you by pretending like they're all happy and enjoying life and living life up. They could be very people that's really struggling mentally and emotionally. So I think that sometimes I feel people, because sometimes they are. We all can put on a good front.
The sexual aspect, the energy part. He has drained her energy. Whatever her desires were, her goals were, she doesn't have that anymore. She doesn't have it anymore. He had her all the time. And he knew that. Guys know that. You had your car, your house, this guy, you don't have that anymore. You're broke. He's doing good. As he drank that like all. I'm not saying women don't do, but men is better. They know, so they know how to they know the demon is powerful. Use my husband's all the time, but I want. Yes, it is very, very powerful. Yes. I mean, at the end of the day, the womb creates life, but it has to come.
Use your husband's semen.
She uses her husband's semen to get what she wants. Okay? Now that's some different kind of stuff. Okay?
But I gotta I
saw a picture the other day. It's like
a pastor
a congregation to masturbate.
Oh. No, yeah. I thought you talked to her. Video.
Yes, she was saying you masturbate, that is manifestation, because you have to focus all your energy on something to achieve something that's not there.
And that pastor is not a pastor of listen, that's not a pastor that is of Christ. That's not a pastor of God. That's a witch that's in a pulpit. There's no way in the world, it's not biblical that you masturbating you will manifest. That is more of an occultic practice. Okay, so I don't know where Tasha K got that from, but again, there is a lot of witches and warlocks in the church. Okay. So if they are not aligning with scripture, then they are using other devices that are not of God. So that is this person is preaching in error and is a false prophet. So I don't know what type of pastor would get up in the pulpit and say that, but okay, I digress.
That's what prayer does too. Prayer is witchcraft. Prayer is manifestation. It's just terminology. It's semantics.
Prayer is not witchcraft. Prayer is talking to your God, your heavenly Father. Okay, and then that's my belief. It's communicating. It's communicating with God, telling God thank you for what you have, being grateful, and things of that nature. I don't know where she's getting that from, but again, that's her personal opinion.
Everyone tries to paint it as something else that fits with their agenda or fits their lifestyle. It doesn't sound demonic, so let's just call it prayer. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Depends on your intent. Some people's intent is wrong. When your intent is selfish, self-serving, that's a bad intent that could be maybe assumed as being, witchcraft or manipulation or whatever. It's about your intent of your heart when you pray. So I don't know what she got going on, but that is my opinion.
When you're praying for something, you want an end result, and you're praying to an entity for the end result. This is literally what we do. It's the same exact thing, called something else. So yes, I understand what she means by that, but just call it witchcraft, babe. That's what it is. Mm-hmm.
Another question. It's just so much how you got my brain going, because I'm like, okay, I see how that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense, Please don't try to set home people, okay? Because Lord knows I just had a guy come through yesterday.
You can introduce the wrong things.
And he lost his mom with all the internet Googling stuff and trying to...
I tell people this. I am so happy you're talking about this. I tell people this all the time. Go on Google, baby. Go ahead and see how that ends up for you. And his mom died.
His mom died.
Yeah, you don't Google it. What I do will never be found on Google or in a book. You cannot get this in a book. You cannot go to the library. You cannot go anywhere. This is bloodline. This was passed down to me. You can't replicate.
So some people, like I said, are, hey, G Chill. Some people are witches by their bloodline. So, y'all, this is deep. I am doing a part 2 to this. And again, hopefully I will have my guest on 9:30. I'm praying that it will be at a good time where none of the drama is hidden at that time, or it has resides, so I can go live. But even if so, I'm still going to go live at 9:30 p.m. in my time. It's going to be on Friday. So, you guys, I hope that you come back. I hope that you got something from what I had. Some of you guys probably already know about this, so I don't ever want to be ignorant and to say that this is, people don't know about this, because a lot of people do. They probably know a lot more than I do. So when it comes to that, but that's why I'm going to have my guest on Friday and at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And we're going to do a part 2 to this, because this person was in the occult and they can kind of break things down a little bit more than I can on different details and stuff like that. That I might not even be aware of. But guys, I appreciate you for coming through, and hopefully you got something from what was said. Like I said, just be careful out there. Everything that looks good, everything that looks innocent ain't innocent. It ain't good for you. So And that goes men and women. You know, we just have to kind of swift people out a lot of the times. And I don't know if anybody wants to come up, just let me know. But yeah, that was just what I kind of wanted to bring forth. I want to bring that, you know, kind of forth to you guys and see what y'all thought about it and everything. I would like to have somebody that has never been on my panel or hasn't been on my panel for a long time to come up. You're more than welcome to hit my panel. Like I said, I appreciate anybody that wants to come up. Oh gosh. But if not, going once, going twice, going 3 times, nobody want to come up, then I'm gonna get off. He said, please, gotta work early Saturday morning. Friday, please. Oh, okay. Gotta work Friday. Yeah, it's 9:30. Because that's the time that the person can come on, and that's the reason why I said that 9:30, because that was the time that they could be able to do it. So I appreciate you guys. Love y'all to Reese's Pieces, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Selena.
It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl, can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl, put them heels on and prove.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana boo boo.